Passes before Shah goes for a raking crossfield ball from the halfway line. Cut out by Everton, but the loose ball will be picked up on his near side by Florent Lejeune. Plays it down the line to Ritchie. Ritchie tries to turn it further on, blocked by Kenny, out for a throw for Newcastle United. Thrown quickly into the chest of Rondon, stabs it back on his near side. The Newcastle left, Ritchie tries to take it on. Strong challenge goes in from Kenny. He ricochets the ball against the legs of Ritchie for a throw for Everton. Floats and one forward to Richarlison. He got a little bit on it. Calvert-Lewin battles away, but it's fouled on this near side by Lejeune, but that's a long way inside their own half. Duncan Ferguson on the bench today, coaching wise, a legend of both of these clubs. The personality, though, that whatever club he'd have played for and pulled a shirt on for, he would have been a legend anyway. Digne throws the ball into the middle of his own half, where Gay turns it out to the right back, Kenny. Kenny galloping forward. Steps inside of Almiron. It's picked up by Ki-Sung-Young and plays it back to Almiron. Almiron breaking down now, breaks towards the penalty area. Everton into the box, it goes, flashes the ball right across the 6-yard box. Rondon or Perez not attacking the ball. But a good run there by Miguel Almiron. The man brought in on a 5.5-year deal. The little Paraguayan, £21 million from Atlanta. Good pace there, broke away. Ki-Sung-Young was the man that won the ball back, but Everton under a bit of pressure, turned on by Almiron again. Zuma inside his own penalty area, over on the left-hand side, heads it out. Everton, but it's Yedlin. Needs some help, goes back to Shah. Shah tries to turn it around the corner, and actually it's a good toe by Perez. Back to Shah. Shah tries to step outside the Portuguese Gomez. He beats him there, but as a judge report, Andre Gomez back. Be a free kick for Everton, about 3 yards outside the left-hand apex of their penalty area. Zuma's short to Gay. Gay goes forward now, 12 yards shy of the halfway line. Turns it out to his left-hand side to Digne. Digne back to Zuma. Zuma into the feet of Gay, straight back to Zuma. Zuma over the halfway line, out to the left-back Digne. Luca Digne tries to clip it down the line for Bernard, blocked by Yedlin, out for a throw for Everton. 10 yards inside the half of Newcastle. Calvert-Lewin comes short, cushions the ball back to Gomez. Gomez tries to wind up for a crossfield pass, but Hayden blocks it, and it squirts back into the Everton half to be picked up by Michael Keane. Keane to John Joe Kenny. Up to the halfway line. Gay straight back to King. King still 6 yards shy. Little ball forward to the right back Kenny. Kenny tries to slip it down the line, blocked by Almiron, but Richarlison's loose ball falls at the feet of Ki-Sung-Young. It's played forward to Salomon Rondon. Michael King goes through the back. Two managers below me in their technical areas have different versions of the same tackle. But the only one that matters is Lee Mason's, that he gives a foul. As Rondon is caught from behind by Keane. Lejeune gets the ball near side, 6 yards in from this left-hand side as Newcastle attack the goal away to my left. In exchange of passes with Lascelles. Now it's played to Ki-Sung-Young. Free transfer from Swansea. Plays it out to Shah. Shah over the halfway line into the feet of Hayden. Back to Shah on the halfway line. Newcastle attacking that goal away to my left. Short pass to Almiron. It turns to face the goal, but plays it out to the left-hand side to Ritchie. Ritchie cuts in as Almiron goes outside him. Played back it is. Little 1-2. Give and go with Hayden. Given away though. Everton mop up. And in the end, a good tackle by Hayden gets the ball away from Ghana Gay, who thought he should have been fouled here. Cross comes in deep, too long for Rondon. Newcastle should have measured it a little better there. The little Paraguayan, too much strength in the left-footed cross. Rain still coming down here up in the north of England. Don't forget, the best way for you to look forward to a Premier League weekend is to subscribe to TalkSport's Premier League Weekend podcast, out every Thursday. Fourth official today is Mike Dean. Yedlin throws the ball in, looking for Ki-Sung-Young. header from Gay, hits the referee and falls back to him. Slipped through the centre, chases on here. Lascelles with just a little too much pace for Calvert-Lewin. Rolls it back to Dubravka, and Dubravka spreads it out to the right-hand side of his goal, where Fabian Schär, tied against the touchline, goes for a ball infield, and Richarlison cuts it out, but his first touch is a little lazy. Matt Ritchie, left-hand side, inside Richarlison. Just stopped short the halfway line, reverse ball to his right, to Ki Sung-young, who rakes a crossfield ball for DeAndre Yedlin, whose first time volley was looking for the run of Perez, but it's tidied up by Zouma. Throw to Newcastle, midway inside the Everton half. Newcastle right, Everton left, as Newcastle attack the goal on my left-hand side. Hayden gets the ball down, but it's taken off his toes by Gay. Gay and Zouma get into a tangle, but Idrissa Gay comes out, plays it far side to Bernard. Bernard up to the halfway line, plays a short ball square along the halfway line to Calvert-Lewin. Square again into the centre circle, Newcastle side to his right to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson to Kenny. Kenny back in field now to Andre Gomez for Everton. This action midway inside the Everton half. Newcastle get themselves back in shape and force Everton back to the halfway line, where Zouma and Digne exchange passes before Zouma comes back to his right-hand side to Keane. Keane to the right back, Kenny. Kenny first time ball into Richarlison. Little layoff. Kenny stumbles on trying to collect it, but does well enough to get the ball back to Gomez. Everton content to play in the middle third of the pitch. Idrissa Gay out now to Luca Digne. Luca Digne down the line to Bernard. Lovely backflip. The Frenchman goes into the box, rolls it back to Sigurdsson. Shot blocked, and it just falls lovely. It's Florent Lejeune that got the block. Lovely play by Everton down there, left-hand side. Sigurdsson with a shot. It hit the legs more than the legs blocking it of Florent Lejeune, and in the end it's just rolled through for Dubravka to pick it up. But the first real nice bit of play there from Everton, falling to their top goal scorer Gylfi Sigurdsson. Everton again attacking the goal away to my right-hand side, going forward with the left back Luca Digne. Bernard into Sigurdsson, time to turn, and Bernard carries his run on a little reverse ball again. Intricate play, but in the end it rolls away as it's played through by Bernard, just too strong. Goal kick to Newcastle United. Bernard, one of those players that's out of the mould of very intricate footballers. Young man from Brazil, free from Shakhtar Donetsk when he came over. Looks like a good signing. Ball goes forward with Ki Sung-young, swoops it out to the left-hand side. Newcastle attack the goal away to my left. Richie's on the ball, faced by Richarlison, goes inside to Ki Sung-young. Ki Sung-young opens his body out, looks right, hasn't got a pass, goes back some 15 yards to Jamal Lascelles. Jamal Lascelles plays a ball in behind the back. Yedlin crosses, flicks off the legs of Zouma, flying punch from Pickford, header from Ki Sung-young, just wide up the goal. DeAndre Yedlin gets into the back, the flying punch goes out to Perez of all people, who tries to place a header back in, but it's just too high and too long. Boos go up. Pickford getting the catcalls. Kicks it straight out of play to the cheers of the 50,000 Newcastle fans inside the ground here at St James's Park in the rain. Sigurdsson tries to lay a ball forward for Everton. Lejeune heads it up and Richarlison gets the wrong side of it, drives into the box. Richarlison, low shot, blocked by Lascelles. Lascelles takes his time, pirouettes inside his own penalty area for a right foot ball up towards Rondon. First time layoff, looks for the run of Perez, but Zouma's in control inside his own half and rolls it all the way back to the yellow-clad Jordan Pickford, who, because of his association with the red and stripe variety up here in the northeast, is getting plenty of ironic jeers from the crowd. Digne, first time ball into Calvert-Lewin, who opens his body up, applies it into the channel, looking for the run of Bernard, but Bernard knew very early that he was never going to get there and gave up the ghost, and the ball just span its way away for Newcastle to retain possession. 15 minutes gone here. Newcastle 0, Everton 0 from St James's Park. I'm your host, Andrew Self, and you listen to Premier League Live. Best way to look forward to a Premier League weekend of football. Subscribe to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast every Thursday. Sigurdsson battling with Ki Sung-young, former teammates at Swansea. Ki Sung-young comes away with it, tries to slip it in behind Kenny, who gets a good challenge in. Almiron have made the run beyond. Kenny puts the ball out for a throw to Newcastle United. If you have just joined us, Seamus Coleman was to be right back, been taken ill, but has necessitated the change that Kenny has stood up from the bench, and Tom Davis has come onto the bench. He was dropped from the bench for this game. Just to run through the two benches for the two sides for you. Newcastle, Paul Dummett, John Joe Shelvey, Mohamed Diame, Kennedy, Manquillo, Hosselu and Darlow. Chance here, loose touch there by Lascelles, forced to the feet of Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson to Richarlison. Richarlison tries to roll it in. Lascelles gets a toe on it, just plays it away, saves it going for a corner. But it is a throw deep in Newcastle territory for Everton. And as Dubravka looks out of his goal, it will be to his left-hand side, the right, as Everton attack that goal away to my right. John Joe Kenny with a throw, the right back. Richarlison tries to get it back, and in the end, Richie, combative as ever, plays it against the legs of the right back for Everton. It rolls away tantalisingly for a goal kick to Newcastle United. And on the bench for Everton, Walcott, Mina, Tosun, Schneiderlin, Stecklenburg, Davis and Lookman. Rain still comes down steadily. Kingdom Rondon battle, ball bounces away, looks for Almiron, but in the end it's covered by Kenny, who heads it out of play, throw to Newcastle midway inside the Everton half. Richarlison getting the last touch on there, and Newcastle United have garnered quite a few more yards down that left-hand side, the right of Everton. They're level with the 18-yard box of Everton now, Newcastle. Richie to Hayden, back to Richie. Richie cuts in, drives in, right foot shot, deflects off the body of Rondon. Bernard will have to clear it, does a nice little roll ball forward. The run from Digne, infield to Gomez. Gomez from left to right, looking for the runner Richarlison. Richarlison gets the ball down, maybe not on his favoured side here, playing more right-hand side than left. Doubled up on by Lejeune and Richie, and it goes away for a throw for Everton. Richarlison hasn't played the last 3 games. Looks a little out of sorts on this right-hand side. And the throw from Kenny is given away by Richarlison. It's hooked away by Newcastle. Great work though as it's played back in by Bernard to Digne. Digne with a cross. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is 1-0. Well, that was so simple. The youngster from Sheffield United scores. Lovely header in. I wouldn't say it was coming, but it really was a nicely placed header pass to Dubravka. Everton had to throw on his near side. Richie just thumped it away, but it was a poor crossfield one. Headed down by Digne. Reverse ball by Bernard. Digne's wide on that left-hand side. Clips it in. Flick header 7 yards out. Into the side netting. Dominic Calvert-Lewin puts Everton 1 goal to the good. It really is a classic football move. But Rafa Benitez will look back at his side and think, we've won the ball back and just given away cheap possession. But Calvert-Lewin, darting in from Dubravka's left, just glanced it wide to the keeper. And Everton, after 18 minutes, take the lead here. Newcastle 0, Everton 1. Now it's Newcastle that'll have to try and build again. Crossfield ball cut out. Bernard does the business. It's a nice goal there. And a well flighted free kick by by Digne. But Bernard's reverse ball is the one that opened up the space. But all that came from Newcastle giving away cheap possession. Halfway line this action now. Strong challenge goes in with Hayden in Dressler again. Benitez will not be happy with that. His goal of the season for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 6 in the League 2 in the League Cup. It was Matt Ritchie's wild hack to get the ball as far away from his goal as possible, but it went cross field. And that was the moment that opened it up. 20 minutes gone, Newcastle 0, Everton 1. Ritchie looking down his left-hand side, right down in front of technical areas, one would say. Lascelles back to Fabian Schär. He's just outside his own penalty area. Turns, rolls it back to Dubravka and sprints wide. Not long. Rondon's beaten in the air by Richarlison. Kenny's lost out though to Almiron. But the ball wouldn't sit down, has allowed Kenny to get back in front of him. Back it goes from Almiron to Hayden. Hayden to Rondon. Almiron slides in with a challenge again. Everton though have got possession. Then they're right with Richarlison, halfway line. Little short ball into Calvert-Lewin, the goal scorer. Just runs it out of play. A little bit ragged, but we've got a goal to set the tempo. If you want to enjoy the game and get involved with your commentator, you can do. Just tweet us at TalkSport Live. I'm also at Selfie86 if you want to get hold of me on a personal note. But you are listening to Premier League Live. Thanks for joining in as Schär comes forward. Plays it right hand side. But it's Ritchie down the left of the Everton right. Almiron tries to slip it past Keane, and Keane does very, very well. It just turns the ball away for a throw to Newcastle United. It's taken quite quickly. Lifted in by Ritchie. Perez goes for the header. Good work by Digne to get it away. And a shot from Schär. It's high wide and not so very, very handsome. Well, it's been a lively opening. It's all too easy for Everton, though, just to pick the pocket down the Newcastle right. They're just going into a little bit of a tight moment here. Everton will just try and quell it. We're at the midway point of the first half. Newcastle trail by a goal to 0. Calvert-Lewin tries to set Richarlison off. Marco Silva must have seen something in Richarlison to see he can come in off the right hand side for Everton. But at the moment it looks a little unbalanced for the Brazilian. Preferred at Watford and at Everton in most of his successful time was either popping in off the Everton left-hand side. Salah's almost caught in possession on the edge of his own box, but manages to squeeze it out to his left to Lejeune, who goes long towards Rondon, but it's an easy header by Zuma. It's going to be a throw for Newcastle, some 12 yards inside the Everton half, down the Everton right-hand side. Almiron tries to get the ball down on his chest, but turns it out of play off his chest. One for the future, one would say. Kenny throws towards Richarlison. Ball goes back to Kenny. Kenny feeds it all the way back through a diminishing gap of Rondon and Almiron to Pickford. And Pickford just takes a touch inside his 6-yard box and plays it out to the left back, Luca Digne. Down the line to Bernard. Bernard back to Digne, back to Zuma. Zuma to Gana Gay. Gana Gay plays it near side to Keane. Keane out to Kenny. Kenny up to the halfway line. First time ball in looking for Sigurdsson. Back to Kenny. It comes off a Newcastle player, but he's given it away. He gets a hefty round of applause, though, from Gylfi Sigurdsson, who applauds the nature of the move, if not the execution of it. And it's Newcastle United back in possession with the football. Schär, Hayden, loose ball to DeAndre Yedlin's cut out by Digne. Digne to Bernard, back to Digne. Digne level with the 18-yard box of Newcastle United. Tries to play it in for the run of Bernard, blocked by the legs of Schär. Throw to Everton. 10 yards away from the corner flag on the far side. Surveyed by the Newcastle rear guard and Fabian Sharp, primarily the right-hand side. Everton attacking the goal away to my right. They lead by a goal to nil after just 18 minutes. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's heading into the back of the net. Digne with the throw. Turned on by Zuma. Bounces. Richarlison can't get there. Ki Sung-young heads it away. Miguel Almiron outpaces Gomez. Really outpaces Gomez. Up to the halfway line. Has to cut in field of Idrissa Gueye. And in the end, it's a strong challenge from returning Kurt Zouma that gets the ball to Gueye. Gueye gets it to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson now's not got a lot of options. Tries to curl it in behind Fabian Schär, who reaches going back towards his own goal to clear. And it's going to be the first corner of the match, but the Newcastle men are baying for blood as they thought the tackle by Kurt Zouma on Miguel Almiron was a foul. I think it was just a very good challenge, in fairness. Has gone in 2 feet planted on the floor, though, not in the air. But it's a corner to Everton. 26 on the clock. Sigurdsson to take. Goal away to my right-hand side. Dubravka looks out to his left. Sigurdsson delivers, just clips it. Target is Zouma. Zouma misses it. Headed away, picked up by Luca Digne. Puts it back in with a bit of pressure. Richarlison bundled into, but a ball breaks to Sigurdsson on his near side. Tries to drill it in, blocked by Ritchie. Solomon Rondon gets on his bike with the ball. Hasn't got a lot of help there. Faces Gomez. Well, he should have just shouted Meg's there, because that was beautiful by Rondon. Rondon now finds Almiron. Almiron back to the halfway line to Ritchie. Ritchie with a really clever crossfield ball, but it's just in behind DeAndre Yedlin on the far side. Newcastle going side to side, which is just irking the home fans. You can hear from our pitch side mics. Florent Lejeune against square. Finds Fabian Schär 6 yards inside his own half. Driving forward now. Square pass to Ki Sung-young. Ki Sung-young now into the feet of Almiron. Almiron trying to drive forward as well. But what we're going to do is just for a short while is hands you back. The game is going on here. Cross should come in again from the Newcastle side. Pickford paws the ball away. Picked up by Hayden on the edge of the box. Hayden drills it in. Blocked by his own player. Ki Sung-young trying to go outside of Richarlison. He's managed to keep hold of the football. Richarlison does really well. Gets a long leg into Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson up to the halfway line to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin tracked by Jamal Lascelles. Done really well. Referee Lee Mason says nothing doing, and it's now Newcastle driving forward. Wasteful ball in by Florent Lejeune, cut out by the Everton rear guard. Still, though, it's a little bit of a battle scene out there. Hayden tries to clip it through the centre, and it goes through to Jordan Pickford. Well, really has been a little bit scrappy. But it still remains Everton leading by a goal to nil. Keane to Kenny. Kenny shy the halfway line. Shows too much. Robbed by Almiron. Almiron goes infield. Straight ball. Cut out by Idrissa Gueye. He goes for a long ball through the centre of the Newcastle defence. Dubravka's outside his box. Chest sit down. Running out to the right-hand side. Far side of the pitch. And now it's a long 50-yard ball towards Rondon. He brings it down on his chest as well. Under pressure from Richarlison, rolls it to his left to Ritchie. Ritchie down the line to Rondon. Real workhorse. Rondon back to the halfway line to Florent Lejeune. Newcastle trail by a goal to nil here. You're listening to Premier League Live. Ritchie, Almiron, reverse ball. And he finds Idrissa Gueye. He stabs it back from the apex of his box some 10 yards before Michael Keane knocks it long towards Calvert-Lewin. Schär goes from right side in centre half to left. Now he goes back, winding his way across the Everton half. Short pass to Perez. Ki Sung-young looks for Ritchie, left-hand side. Can he deliver a ball? It's a decent ball in. Dropped by Pickford. That's a penalty. Oh, my word. To add insult to injury, Jordan Pickford, who has been getting absolute abuse from the Newcastle side of the pitch, came out to claim a cross, spilt it in the wet conditions, and then cleaned out Solomon Rondon. Very much so. Penalty every day of the week. Jordan Pickford, I'm struggling to think what he's actually done. Well, I can tell you what, he looked as though in slow motion. He dives full length, and it's a rugby tackle. He'll be lucky if he doesn't go off the field of play here. Is it a goal scoring opportunity? Well, I think it is. I think Jordan Pickford, if he gets a yellow card, is an extremely lucky man. Yet to see what Lee Mason's going to brandish. Well, he's given the penalty kick. Standing up to take it, Scotsman Matt Ritchie. Goal away to my left-hand side. We're into the 30th minute. Still want to know exactly what sport Pickford was playing when he delivered that tackle on Rondon. Would have looked something better in Twickenham. Left foot of Ritchie against the England international goalkeeper, whose mistake has led to this penalty. Ritchie stares at the ball, addresses the ball, comes up to the ball, stutters, drills it, saved by Pickford with his legs as he dived away to his left-hand side. His legs saved it. Far side. Perez is trying to take on Bernard. Can he get the cross in? Does so. Chance here, 20 yards out. Head up by Almiron over the top. Well, the pantomime villain, Jordan Pickford, just dangled his legs out and saved a straight penalty from Matt Ritchie. You really can't miss penalties. Matt Ritchie's just done that for Newcastle United, and such a clear-cut penalty. Absolutely no need for VAR. The tackle from Pickford as the ball dropped out of his grasp was waist high on Rondon. Everton still lead by a goal to nil, and there's a muted feeling around the ground now. Chance for Everton to break forward into the Newcastle box again. Calvert-Lewin clips it in, headed away this time by Lascelles. Gomez, edge of the box, breaks into the box, gets to the dead ball line, flies it low, cross, tap in, it's 2-0. Richarlison, as Dubravka has to deal with the cross, it's low and flat, palms it straight into the path of the Brazilian, and Richarlison makes it 2-0 just moments after Jordan Pickford saves a penalty which should have made it one apiece. The Brazilian getting the congratulations. Bernard with the run, slips Calvert-Lewin into the box, square across, gets cleared. Gomez this time breaks into the box, fizzes a right foot cross out. Dubravka pushes it away from his near post, who's there on hand just to tap it in. It is Richarlison. Good work by the Portuguese player on loan from Barcelona. Finished it, and then as it came out, Richarlison just thumped it gleefully into the empty net, and Everton are 2 goals to the good. And Newcastle United and their fans will not be happy from missing a penalty to then going 2 goals down. Newcastle rocked to their boots with that last goal. Could have been level. They find themselves 2 goals down. Zuma, strong header. Gay with a header. Bernard tries to get on the loose ball. Far side. Hooked high in the sky by Fabian Sharp. Headed forward by Digne. Newcastle's good form in recent weeks, just sort of trying to dissipate here. And when you think of the games coming up, trying to creep to that 39-point mark could be a little bit of a problem. Off to Bournemouth. We are in the home straight of the season. Bournemouth away and Arsenal away, Palace at home, Leicester away, Southampton at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home and Fulham away. They don't sound hard in the grand scheme of things, i.e. Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea's, Tottenham's. But, and this is the big but, you still have to get those points. And when you're 2-0 at home down and having lost 9 at home, Palace, Southampton and Liverpool are not gimmies at home this season. I'm sure Rafa Benitez would have spiked this one and thought, we need something out of this game. But Lee Mason has let the game flow as much as possible. Got the decision right for the penalty. And then, unbelievably, Ritchie struck it low and through the centre. Pickford stuck at his legs and blocked it. Within a minute at the other end, Everton strike through Richarlison. And it's 2-0 to the Toffees at St James's Park. 35 on the clock. Premier League never fails or ceases to amaze. This time clip forward, Rondon will be offside. Arms go up, right across the back line. If you like your Premier League football, you want a little dose, don't forget to subscribe to TalkSport's Premier League Weekend Show podcast out every Thursday. Tom Rennie with a variety or a host of footballing legends to discuss what's coming up. Digne just stamps the ball down the line. Newcastle stung by 2 first-half goals so far. One from Richarlison on the 32 minutes, and one earlier on, Calvert-Lewin on 18, and they just can't seem to pick themselves up. That missed penalty by Ritchie, looming ever larger after Pickford's rugby tackle on Rondon. The double penalisation situation now is always the one that comes into play. But Pickford stayed on. And Everton lead by 2-0. Keane to Gay on the halfway line. Turns inside the centre circle, Everton side. Clips it out to the left. It's a wasteful ball cut out by Yedlin. Digne tries to hoo it down, but it plays it against the body of Perez, and Perez sees it run away and out of play for a throw to Everton right on the halfway line. Digne throws in 20 yards to Gay. Gay opens his body out, goes back to his right centre back, who is Michael Keane, who just ambles to the halfway line, then looks to his right to the right back, Jojo Kenny. Kenny down the line to Richarlison. His turn around the corner isn't good enough. One back by Calvert-Lewin, then lost again by Richarlison. By Ki Sung-young. Ritchie tries to work ever harder. But at the moment, Newcastle United making heavy weather trying to get the ball out. And again, it's good work by Richarlison to get the ball to Gomez. Gomez over the halfway line, coming down this right-hand side for Everton. Ritchie would do well not to talk too hard to the linesman on the near side. He thought it should have gone his way. If you're wondering why John J. Kenny is in today, he was due to be on the bench. Seamus Coleman is ill in the warm-up, and therefore there was a change with Tom Davies coming in to cover Kenny's place on the bench. But Newcastle just not really hitting their straps. They're being dominated, or smothered, one would say, by the Everton side. I won't say dominated, because that would sound like they're creating chance after chance. They're not. They've created 2 chances and taken them. But they're smothering Newcastle, or making Newcastle, or forcing Newcastle into a tennis sling, which is unforced errors. That ball there from Sharp, cut out by Digne. Digne to Sigurdsson, Sigurdsson to Gay. Gomez across to Digne. Digne short to Sigurdsson. It's just give and go football for Everton. They're 2 to the good. Back it goes to Zuma. Zuma 12 yards outside his own penalty area. Square to his right to Keane. Keane forward now into the centre circle on the Everton side to Gay. Gay looks to his right-hand side, sees John Joe Kenny, clips the ball out to him before it's rolled into the oncoming Gomez. Gomez sweeps it out to Kurt Zuma. Zuma will go further out to the left to Digne. Digne 10 yards inside the Newcastle half. Elects to go back to Zuma. Zuma goes all the way back to Jordan Pickford. Boo's still going up. But he might have just answered his critics with that penalty save. John Joe Kenny inside. Chance now for Calvert-Lewin to open his legs. Runs back towards the centre circle forward, playing it to the left back, Digne. Digne's got Bernard outside him. Just stabs it to him, level the 18-yard box of Newcastle. Bernard goes back to Gay. Gay's got a couple of options, and one of those is Gomez, is square to his right. Out further right now to John Joe Kenny, level the 18-yard box. Cross in, not brilliant. Jamal Lascelles hooks it away. Headed on by Isaac Hayden, picked up by Everton though, midway inside the Newcastle half. Gay to Digne, cross comes in again, too high this time, bounces awkwardly, Ritchie doesn't get enough on it, Richarlison rolls it back, asks a lot of Kenny, but Kenny's done exceptionally well before Sigurdsson's caught on the apex of the penalty area by the diminutive Scot, Ritchie, and it's a free kick right virtually on the apex to give Everton a real chance here. Sigurdsson caught across the top of the foot. Sigurdsson stands there. Dubravka, goal away to my right hand side, looks out to the left hand apex of his penalty area. Difficult angle, quite shallow. Sigurdsson and Digne's there. Digne feigns, Sigurdsson delivers, it's deep. Easy for Dubravka to come and claim, safe hands. Many would question whether Dubravka did the right thing for Richarlison's goal, but I think he did what everybody would want him to do. As Perez gets in behind Zuma, he's into the box, shot comes in, saved by Pickford, headed by Perez off the floor as it's palmed back to him. What a break that was. Jose Perez had got in behind Zuma, fired a shot in, strong right hand from Pickford, poured it straight back. Perez on the floor, headed it back, Pickford saved again. Closest really Newcastle have come to making the keeper work apart from the penalty. Newcastle 0, Everton 2. Lascelles, sharp, back inside to Lascelles. Lascelles out to the left hand side to Lejeune, sweeps it round the corner, looking for the run of Almiron. Keane gets across, plays it against Almiron, throw to Everton, level with their own 18-yard box. Everton caught square, Zuma nowhere to be seen. Great work by Perez to get it down, got a shot off. Foul in doing so, but a strong shot was parried away by Pickford. And then Perez headed it back. Jordan Pickford somehow seems to be involved in everything. But Richarlison has been caught by Fabian Schär. Assistant on the near side, Harry Leonard. Soaring up, Lee Mason gives a yellow card to Jamal Lascelles. Just fancy Everton and their manager will be thinking that they could possibly put this game to bed before the break. Richarlison taking a long time to get to his feet. Looks as though he's fallen awkwardly on his left elbow stroke shoulder. He's been asked just to crawl off the pitch, and he is doing so. 43rd minute of this first half. Everton lead by 2-0. And now Sigurdsson, a yard in from this left touchline, will look to kill this ball into the box. Dubravka looks out of the goal away to my right. In comes across, shallow, headed away by Yedlin. Picked up by Digne, whose ball is cut out by Almiron, and forces Everton to play it back to the halfway line. Digne clips it down the line, looking for Bernard, who gets it right down. Lovely skill by Bernard. Gets round Schär. Can he roll the ball in? He can. Apex of the 6-yard box. Jamal Lascelles, the man that just got that yellow card, clears it away. Game we're having here. Luca Digne with the throw, level the 18-yard box of Newcastle's penalty area. Throws it into the corner to Bernard. Back to Digne. Bernard tries to turn it in. Schär hooks it away. Up to Rondon. Rondon, good 20 yards inside his own half. Tries to play it on for Perez, but it's cut out by Zuma and Keane. And Everton with a little triangle. Play the ball away on that far side. Left back Digne. Back to Gay. Gay first time ball through to Sigurdsson. A little too intricate. The ball breaks this time for Rondon. But it's won back by Gylfi Sigurdsson. And Gomez clips the ball out right hand side. Matt Ritchie, an attacking threat for Newcastle, defending on his life as Richarlison keeps trying to run into that space. Everton no build again. Sweeped out to the apex of the Newcastle box. Bernard cuts in. Reverse ball. Sigurdsson tries to get there. Goes in there. Goes down. Everton fans high away to my left-hand side screen. Newcastle fans all around the ground howl at Lee Mason for a dive. Sigurdsson gets up and believes he's been fouled, but it doesn't matter. Mason has let it run. Ball goes knocked across the face of the Everton penalty area to Ritchie. Ritchie faced up by Richarlison into Ki Sung-young. Back to Ritchie. Ritchie's got to deliver here, but in time and space does so. Michael Keane, 8 yards away from his goal, heads the ball away. Richarlison dispossesses Ritchie over the halfway line, cuts inside Florent Lejeune. Good break here by the Brazilian. He's got Bernard far out to his left-hand side. He plays it to Bernard, whose second touch is poor. But in the end, Fabian Schär dives into 2 challenges and got fouled in the first one by Bernard. Well, it's end-to-end stuff. Maybe a 2-goal away lead is what this game needed. Newcastle trying to master some sort of fight back. Just looking at the penalty replay there, and I couldn't tell you, even in slow motion on the little monitor they give me here, whether Sigurdsson is actually caught by Fabian Schär. Rondon and Michael Keane certainly are having a bit of a battle, as it's Pickford who drills the ball long into the half of Newcastle United. Additional 2 minutes, a minimum of, to be played at the end of the first half, which Newcastle currently trail by 2-0 against Everton. Goals on 18 minutes by Calvert-Lewin, a flicked header from a lovely little flight across from Digne. And then, of course, Richarlison snapping up the rebound off Dubravka after Gomez had put a flat cross into the box, which Dubravka could only pour into the pathway, I would say, of Richarlison. Newcastle looking to get back into it. Yedlin to Ki Sung-young, turned around by Sigurdsson. Driving forward now, Fabian Schär. Steps away from 2, the second one is the foul. Calvert-Lewin called in first. Second one was just an attempt by Gomez. More boos. And this time Ki Sung-young takes it quickly in a deflection off the back of Lee Mason's head. Balls nicely to Ritchie on this left-hand side. He finds Almiron trying to take on Gomez. Stands the ball up to the back post, coming round the back. A very, very brave header by Digne. And Fabian Schär really should just walk away from the incident. He has played through the back of Luca Digne and Kurt Zouma in an attempt to win the ball. It's great tenacity from Fabian Schär, but when it comes down to it, a little bit daft, and he's then tried to pick the French fullback up because he says he's feigning injury. Watch it again. It's a heavy challenge by Fabian Schär, who then collides with Kurt Zouma, and then he tries to just drag him off the floor. The Swiss defender could do well keeping away. That is a really horrible challenge, in fairness. And then to make it worse, he tries to drag him off the floor, which is a little bit silly. The atmosphere is boiling. The temperature has been raised. The dander on the back of the necks are now standing up. Marco Silva of Everton will want the half-time break. Rafa Benitez will want to build on that momentum that the crowd have just built into a crescendo. Pickford knocks it long. Lee Mason says that's enough for the first half. Goals from across by Luca Digne on 18 minutes, headed in by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, gave Everton the lead. And then a mistake by Jordan Pickford, dropping across right at the feet of Solomon Rondon, to which he then placed a rugby tackle on the forward. Gave away a penalty. Matt Ritchie put it down the centre. Pickford dived to his left, but his legs hung out and blocked it. Within a minute at the other end, a real chance came for Everton to make it 2-0, which they took. Good work by Gomez getting to the dead ball line on Dubravka's left. He drilled a low ball into the 6-yard box. Dubravka dived away from his near post and palmed it straight into the path of Richarlison, who gobbled up the charts. Half-time here at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Everton 2. Back to John Anderson and Dave Kitson.
TalkSport Predictor Game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click talksport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor Game. Available online and for free at talksport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor Game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor Game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
Welcome back. Spurs leading by 1-0 and deservedly so at St Mary's. Let's reflect on the opening 45 minutes, not just here, but right across the country in the Premier League.
Camarasa up to the edge of the penalty area, offloads it right side to Murphy. Good ball. First time cross coming in from Murphy. It's turned in at the near post by Junior Hoylett to give Cardiff City a 4th-minute lead.
Wagner. Ball just drops on the halfway line as Bournemouth press forward towards Fraser with the cushion volley towards Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson shoots. It's straight up Nursel long.
The throw from Kenny is given away by Richarlison. It's hooked away by Newcastle. Great work though as it's played back in by Bernard to Digne. Digne with a cross. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is 1-0. Well, that was so simple.
Fraser back to Brooks, running up the heart of the town defence. Back through to Fraser, left-hand side of the box. Could he shoot? He does! But it's across the face of goal towards Callum Wilson, who, back after injury, scores for Bournemouth.
Another through ball. Oh, picked out Vardy. Through, easier. Space, knocked around the goalkeeper. It falls to Tielemans and just taps it into the goal. That was so easy. I couldn't believe what I was watching there.
Here's Dele Alli. Can he score on his return or can he set one up? Kane controls and scores! Dele Alli and Harry Kane combining.
Richie stares at the ball, addresses the ball, comes up to the ball, stutters, drills it, saved by Pickford with his legs as he dived away to his left-hand side. His legs saved him. Gomez, edge of the box, breaks into the box, gets to the dead ball line, flies it low, cross, tap in, it's 2-0, Richarlison.
Well, there you are, all the goals and all the half-time action in the Premier League today, all of which really is conspiring at the moment against Southampton, because if Cardiff win, they will be 17th and out of the bottom 3 with 28 points. Southampton would drop down into that relegation zone with 27. Newcastle losing currently at home to Everton and having missed a penalty, not out of danger yet. They only have 31 points. Brighton winners against Crystal Palace, a huge win for them at the moment. as it stands, they would be 6 points away from the relegation zone. Burnley, of course, play tomorrow, but they're at Liverpool, so you would expect Burnley to lose, which means that Southampton, Cardiff, Burnley and Newcastle potentially could end today all separated by only 4 points. And I would suggest, Dave, that the half-time speech from Ralph Hasenhüttl is probably a good deal more passionate, desperate and imploring than the one of Mauricio Pochettino at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there is going to come a point in this game where Southampton not throw caution to the wind exactly, but certainly get a little bit further up the pitch and take a little bit more chance. I mean, Charlie Austin is, for all intents and purposes, playing as a midfielder, dropping in and trying to restrict Spurs. But Spurs are just too good. They just play round Southampton. So it's difficult to see what they can do unless they start taking a risk.
Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur, I mean, they, as you said, they've got quality on the bench. Son, Lamela, Wanyama, Llorente, Ben Davis, all quality players. At what point does Pochettino think about changing it? Presumably the Tottenham plan will be try and get a goal early in the second half, kill the game off, and then maybe we can change things around a bit.
Yeah, they'd love a second goal. The earlier the better, really. But, you know, certainly at the moment it's very, very comfortable for Spurs. And the thing with this bench is that they can change it any way they like. If they find themselves in a little bit of distress, they've got Lamela and Son that they can put on, Llorente if they need a second striker. And if they want to hold on to what they have, 1 or 2-0, you have Wanyama there, Foyth, Davis. It's a very balanced bench, so there's nothing really to panic about for Spurs at the moment, but I just think it's more of the same. I certainly think, given how deep Southampton are, and Angus Gunn to me looks a little bit cagey, I think they're going to go for it and try and get the seconds early as they can.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. We've got the second half coming up, but just a reminder that Southampton's home form is so poor. It's the third worst in the Premier League. They've only got 15 points at St Mary's. They need to improve that, and as we speak, I'm sure Ralph Hasenhüttl is trying to lift his troops. They haven't had an effort on target at all in the first half. They came closest, and it wasn't very close, from Nathan Redmond's long shot. As you said, throwing caution to the wind is never a great tactic, but desperate times call for desperate measures, don't they?
Yeah, and look, if it's 1-0 with sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes left, you may as well lose too, because at this stage of the season, a point for Southampton, certainly given how it's going elsewhere as well. You know, Newcastle are now 2-0 down to Everton, they're being dragged in, and Cardiff are winning. A goal for Southampton would be absolutely massive.
Yeah, it certainly would. Just to go through the results elsewhere, latest scores, I should say, at the interval elsewhere. Cardiff 1, West Ham United 0. Junior Hoylett's goal in the 4th minute. Neil Warnock's team have defended it thus far. Huddersfield Town 0, Bournemouth 1. That'll be another nail in Huddersfield's coffin. Callum Wilson back from injury and back on target for then Yuri Tielemans. I think that's his first goal for Leicester City, is it? He's scored at the King Power Stadium. Fulham, another team seemingly consigned to oblivion, are losing. Newcastle 0, Everton 2. So some interesting results and some big 45 minutes ahead, particularly for the teams down the bottom of the table. We're back with the second 45 minutes at St Mary's in just a moment. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Southampton struggling down the bottom. We're joined by a survivor of their great escape team in 1999, Francis Bernali. Former Bluebirds defender Danny Gabidon joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah, who makes makes it 2 to Liverpool. One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magicians.
Listen to the show on TalkSport.com.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million predictor game.
Register now at TalkSport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See TalkSport.com/predictor for full conditions.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Southampton against Tottenham Hotspur from St Mary's. I'm your host, John Anderson. Alongside me is the former Stoke and Portsmouth striker, Dave Kidson. This is Premier League Live. We're still waiting for the appearance of the two teams for this second half, but it will have been an uncomfortable period queuing for tea and beer and Bovril, etc. for the Southampton fans who will be well aware of the scoreline from the Cardiff City Stadium as their team trot out for the second half. Tottenham Hotspur, of course, have matters of their own to address, and we're going to see Shane Long coming on as a substitute any moment for Southampton. So Ralph Hasenhüttl, and in fact there are two Southampton substitutes ready to come on, so it's going to be a double switch by Ralph Hasenhüttl. I think Josh Sims, who we haven't seen at all this season, is the other player who's coming on. We'll let you know who they are replacing in just a moment when the board goes up. Shane Long is on, and he has replaced Oriol Romeu, so that's an attacker for a defensive midfield player. Josh Sims is a wide player himself, wearing number 39, and we're just waiting to see who he will come on for. Well, Sims is 21 years old. He's an England under-20 international, had a loan spell at Reading between August and January this season, made 18 appearances for them, has been recalled by Southampton, and he is on for the second half. So not only a double substitution, but a bit of a surprise in terms of the fact that it's not perhaps Shane Long, but Josh Sims, who has come on for Charlie Austin. So, well, I suppose it's Long for Austin and Sims for Romeu, although the board...
Hello and welcome back to TalkSport's coverage of Newcastle United versus Everton from St James's Park. I'm your host, Andrew Self, and you're listening to Premier League Live. Paul Dummett is being introduced into the fold for Newcastle United at the break. We'll just wait to see exactly who he is replacing. Well, this is very much a first half of note. Midfield skirmishes left, right and centre, but it's 2 goals as we start the second half. Everton in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks lead by those 2 goals, scored by Calvert-Lewin after 18 minutes. And Richarlison, his goal coming on 32. Sandwiched in between the pair of them. Jordan Pickford dropped across flat Solomon Rondon. Penalty for Matt Ritchie when it was 1-0. Fired it low. Pickford dived away to his left-hand side, but left his legs dangling, and they blocked the ball. And within a minute, that second goal winning from Richarlison. It is Jamal Lascelles that's gone off and done it on. So again, whether that's illness or injury, I didn't see Jamal Lascelles struggling with an injury, but indeed, Paul Dummett, the 27-year-old Welsh defender, all through the ranks, comes into play in the middle of the back 3. Distinctive haircut. Run through those sides for you in just a moment. Cross goes into the box, headed away by Fabian Schär. And it looks as though they've gone back to a back 4 now, Newcastle United, so that's... Just going to read it. They are playing in the second half. They're attacking the goal away to my right. Everton, though, with Luca Digne with the ball in his hands. 10 yards away from the corner flag, defended by the new right back, DeAndre Yedlin. Throws it in the corner, Gomez. Gomez turns. Can he get across in? A lovely bit of skill by Gomez. Finds Digne, headed away this time by Lejeune. Gay picks the ball up for Everton, edge of the box, plays it back down. Newcastle have left a bit of space here. Digne delivers. Right at the back post coming in was Richarlison, but it beats and evades everybody and goes away. Let's run through the sides then. It is now a 4 at the back for Newcastle United. In goal, Martin Dubravka. They have Paul Dummett at left back, Florent Lejeune, Fabian Schär, and then DeAndre Yedlin as a back 4. Matt Ritchie, Isaac Hayden, and I should imagine Ki Sung-young and Jose Perez playing on the right, and then it's going to be Miguel Almiron and Solomon Rondon playing at the top of the path for Everton. Jordan Pickford in goal. A back 4 from right to left of John Joe Kenny, Michael Keane, Kurt Zouma and Luca Digne. Just looking at the pitch down here. Sigurdsson will try and break over the halfway line. Tries to roll it in, cut out by Dummett. The midfield there for them, Idrissa Gueye and Andre Gomes holding, with Bernard, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Richarlison coming in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Ball into the box. Newcastle sliding in, but Zouma clears. Only 1 corner in the first half. Zouma does really well, and here comes the second corner again. It's for Newcastle. 48th minute. Ritchie will deliver. Goal away to my right-hand side. Pickford looks out to his right. Ball in, headed away this time by Kenny. Laid to the edge of the box. Almiron with a curler. Blocked by the legs of Calvert-Lewin. He then drills it against the legs of Almiron, and it goes away for a goal kick to Everton. Plenty to like about Miguel Almiron, but Everton have dealt with him so far. Into the 48th minute. Just run through the benches for you. First change has been made. Dummett is on. He replaced, as I say, Jamal Lascelles. Shelvey is on the bench, Diam is on the bench, Kenners is on the bench, Manquillo's on the bench, and Hosselu and Darlow. And for Everton, Walcott, Minas, Tosin, Schneiderlin, Stecklenburg, Davis and Lookman. Strong header away by Lejeune, halfway line, headed forward by Digne. Perez helps it on again, head tennis ensues. Gomez just by the halfway line, tries to play it out on his near side to Bernard, who was just on the floor. It's picked up by DeAndre Yedlin, who breaks into the Everton half, but he's faced by 3. Has to go back to Fabian Schär. Schär from just inside his own half rolls it all the way back to Dubravka. He comes out to the edge of the D on his own 18-yard box and spread it out to Dummett. Dummett in field to Lejeune. Back to Dubravka it goes. Dubravka in a goal away to my left. Knocks it long towards Rondon. Rondon does well, but Keane ushers it ball down to Gomez. Gomez finds Richarlison. Richarlison sets Calvert-Lewin in behind Dummett. Dummett gets it back across now as Everton are on the apex of the Newcastle box. Back in field to Gomez. Gomez to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson waits for Digne to arrive. Now it's on the opposite apex. Luca Digne has just given the ball straight to Perez. Perez gets away from Bernard and from Digne before playing it square to Almiron. He's on the charge over the halfway line. Richarlison tracks him. Cross though in behind Rondon is a wasted ball, and the groans go up from the St James's Park faithful as it runs out for a throw on this near side for Everton. Newcastle will hope to harness a little bit of fervour they got at the end of the first half and see if they can actually move into another gear, get that goal that matters. Now Everton here, 20 wins in the Premier League against 17 for Newcastle. It's not ground that holds fierce for Everton. 1-1 back on December. Benitez will want to pinch something from this game, for sure. Tough matches ahead for Newcastle. Clip ball inside by Shah, flicks off the legs of Calvert-Lewin, finds Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson sets Calvert-Lewin down in the channel, outside of the box, plays it into Bernard. Bernard tries to curl it, doesn't get enough on it, goes well wide. Cutting in from the left-hand side, the little Brazilian, but again it's loose play from Newcastle that gives the ball away. They can only have their own wounds to lick, in fairness. Giving the ball away for the first. Missing the penalty, which would have levelled things up. And then the third goal and the second goal. Being nestled in the makeup again, not clearing their lines. Lovely touch by Calvert-Lewin getting the ball down, but he's taken off his toes by Shah. Shah to Lejeune. Lejeune and Dummett square across the midway point of their own half for Newcastle, which is away to my left-hand side. Ritchie tries to roll it in behind Kenny. Does really well. Almiron goes down. John Joe Kenny's going to see yellow. Clever play there. Very clever play indeed by Almiron. Got himself in behind John Joe Kenny. Kenny had no option really but to take a hit for the team, but this is dangerous now. Jordan Pickford looks out of his goal away to my right hand side. He'll look from the centre of his goal straight through the apex of the penalty area, where Matt Ritchie, Lee Mason and Ki Sung-young stand over the ball. I can tell you Lee Mason won't take it because he's the referee. Who's going to deliver this? This would be a fine time for Newcastle United to try and strike back. Bisect the apex of the box to the touchline, that is where it is. Two-man war. Clipped in by Ki Sung-young, too long for Dummett at the back post. Just a babble in the background at the moment, whereas at the end of the first half, every Geordie fan was in full voice, playing for blood. They've returned from that half-time snack or drink or chat, whatever, and it's just a babble. They need to be raised off of those seats again. Zuma put under pressure from a ball back, but he manages to turn it back to Pickford. Pickford takes a touch, goes out to the right before swinging the right boot through it. The cheers will tell you that he kicked it straight out of play. Dreadful handling error that led to the Newcastle penalty. Dropped across and then literally rugby tackled Rondon, but atoned for that by saving with his legs from Matt Ritchie, keeping Everton's lead at the time to 1-0, but moments later it was 2. Richarlison pouncing on a parry from Dubravka. Ritchie looks for the run of Almiron. Almiron 10 yards away from the dead ball line, tries to cut inside gate, does so, but it's tidied up by Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson to Richarlison. Richarlison's got on the right side of Ritchie, finds the ball up to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin tries to slip it in behind Dummett. Great run by Richarlison. Just the wrong type of execution when it came down to it. Ritchie trying to feign Almiron. Kenny ties well. Joe Kenny, born in Kirby, up through the youth ranks. Saw a lot of him when he was at Oxford United on loan, the youngster. Played at Wembley for them as well. Ball comes in from Ritchie, low in towards Jordan Pickford's right-hand post. Pickford gathers, gets up and does the classic keeper. Absolutely berates his players in front of him for getting that cross in before rolling it out to Zuma. Zuma to Gay. Gay straight ball to the halfway line. Sliding and volleyed to Sigurdsson to Gomez. Gomez to Digne. Digne to Bernard. Lovely flick by Bernard. Gets the ball back 4 yards from the dead ball line. Crosses it in. Dummett inside his own 6-yard box. Heads the ball away from Newcastle United. Gomez picks up the loose ball and twists away from Perez. Finds Gay. Gay with time now on the lip of the centre circle. Newcastle side to straighten a ball into Richarlison. His first touch pops off his body so far that Hayden can just tidy up for Newcastle United. Hayden gets it back from Ki Sung-young, plays it back to Ritchie. Ritchie goes back to Dummett, and this will not help the mood inside the stadium. Newcastle playing from side to side inside their own half. Long ball looking for Rondon. He's got the other side of Kenny. A good touch by Solomon Rondon. Will it do it? It goes wide. Well, I don't know what Michael Keane, Jordan Pickford and John Joe Kenny were doing, but the Venezuelan just literally saw the ball bounce up and hooked it away. He had no right to really get there. Got himself goal side. Keane didn't get there. Pickford's in absolute no man's land, and he just turns it past Pickford. And much to the chagrin of the Newcastle fans inside the ground, it bounces wide of the goal. And Jordan Pickford has certainly again stoked the crowd up as he ran back towards the Newcastle fans as the ball went past the post. He had his tongue out in almost a mocking style. They don't like him because he started at Sunderland. They really don't like him at the moment for saving a penalty and playing party pooper. That was what the fans needed. Jordan Pickford has got them off their seats. Everton, though, calmly go about their work. Ritchie goes down under a tumble from Calvert-Lewin and Paul Dummett. Lee Mason says that is a foul. For those of you that don't know, it was to be Seamus Coleman at right back for Everton, but he was ill. Felt ill in the warm-up, and therefore he was replaced by John Joe Kenny. Tom Davies came into the bench. And in the first half, a good cross by Digne, a lovely header, glance across the face of goal. Well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin set them on their way before a penalty saved by Pickford after he gave it away. But Everton on the attack, breaking down, bearing down on the Newcastle penalty area, overlapped by Digne, gets a cross in. And he is clattered after the ball is gone. I would like to see that one again. Lee Mason says nothing doing because the cross came in. But Yedlin's really giving him a clattering here. Gets the cross in. And in the end it's Ki Sung-young that just knocks it away from the penalty spot as he's dragged the ball back. Everton trying to attack again. Kenny and Sigurdsson exchange the ball. Kenny far touchline, tries to turn it infield. This time it's got out by Ritchie. Ritchie back to Lejeune. Lejeune up to the feet of Perez, who tries to twist and turn away from Gomez and Bernard. And he's done very, very well to retain possession in the middle of his own half. But there's no help for him. He thinks he's been fouled, but Newcastle do come away with the football as it breaks free. Ki Sung-young into the feet there of Almiron. Almiron puts it behind Ritchie and it rolls out. And again, the ire of the Geordie fans, who want so much to get that football into the back of the opposition net. They crave good football. I dare say every fan up and down the country, whether it be League 1, League 2, Conference, National League North or National League South, they all want their side to do well. Just a few more bots inside this ground on behalf of Newcastle instead of Everton, but Everton have the football inside the half of Newcastle. Gomez and Gay exchanging passes for Sigurdsson down on his near side. Plays it for Digne. Digne tries to cross it in. Second corner to Everton. First in his second half. Coming up to 60 minutes on the clock. Newcastle 0, Everton 2. If you like your Premier League football, don't forget to subscribe to TalkSport's Premier League preview show podcast, out every Thursday. Dubravka, goal away to my left-hand side. We'll see Sigurdsson swing it in from his right. So right down to my Left-hand side, Sigurdsson to deliver, 60th minute of the game. Good header away by Dummett. Ritchie facing his own goal, tries to play it back to Yedlin. Newcastle playing football in the wrong area. Yedlin shows good skills though to drill it against Sigurdsson and put the ball behind for a goal kick to Newcastle United. What have Newcastle got on the bench? What can they do to change things around? We've got Hosselu, Kennedy. Really, they're the only two attacking options for the Geordies on the bench. They've made one change. Lascelles off at a half-time, replaced by Paul Dummett, as Newcastle have reverted to a flat-back four. Ki-Sung-Young to the halfway line. Almiron runs into Richarlison. Ball goes back to Gomez. Gomez clips it back out the far side. Cross goes Lejeune to face Richarlison. Richarlison first time cross, but the bouncing ball isn't very good. And it goes away for a goal kick. He's looked somewhat out of sorts, but he has scored, the Brazilian, Richarlison. Started his career at Everton really, really well. The last 3 games has been asked to play a sort of, not so much a customary position. Scored his 12th goal of the season, levels him up with Gylfi Sigurdsson. Both got 11 in the league. Everton work the ball out here with Sigurdsson and Bernard. Bernard is completely caught by DeAndre Yedlin. Lee Mason from Greater Manchester, 47 years of age. Obviously can't get his hand to his pocket very well because that was an agricultural challenge at best. Just around the knees. Yedlin, the American. Mike Dean being spoken with Marco Silva. I just feel that Marco Silva's side need one more goal. If the goal goes in for Newcastle United, with this fervent and very, very raucous crowd getting on their feet, it could be a real cauldron for Everton to deal with. Dubravka kicks it long. Zuma wins the header. Hayden gets the ball to Perez. Perez to Ritchie. Ritchie attacking down the right hand side now. Gay tries to force him into the corner. He drills it into the midriff of Digne, who falls to the floor, but it's going to be a corner to Newcastle United. The young Frenchman, Luca Digne, just 25 years of age, £20 million from Barcelona. That's been hit in the regions that make most men wince. I don't think it's quite as hard as that. I think there's a little bit of sting being taken out of the game here by the little Frenchman. He'll make his way back to his feet. A full-blown blow there with a football. Can throw things in a bit of a turmoil. Corner. Ki-Sung-Young, 64th minute. Jordan Pickford looks out of his goal away to my right-hand side, to the left. Everton faces set piece for their left back. Ki-Sung-Young's delivery, flicked header near post, right across the face of goal. Sharp stands it back up again. Headed away by Richarlison. Brought down by Almiron. Almiron to Yedlin. Yedlin clips it in behind. Looks for the run of Ki-Sung-Young. But I tell you what, Richarlison's in the right place at the right time. He plays the ball out to his other Brazilian, Bernard. Bernard tries to be a little bit too clever, and it's Newcastle halfway line break. Ball through the centre. Keane's the wrong side. Ball's headed down to Rondon. Faces the goal. Plays it to Perez. Perez clips it up. Rondon on the volley. It's a goal, and a fine, fine goal. It's 2-1. Solomon Rondon brings the goal back. Excellent play between him and Perez. And now Everton will know what 55,000 screaming Geordies can do to an atmosphere. Ritchie won the ball back. Hayden clipped it up towards the 18-yard box. Perez headed it down to Rondon. Short ball forward to Perez. Perez clipped it over the head of Kenny, and on the volley, left foot, drilled past Pickford. It's Rondon from 8 yards. A well-worked goal, and the Venezuelan under the body of Jordan Pickford. I'm just looking at it again. I hate to blame keepers in any way, shape or form, but that's very close to the England shot stopper. Has it just taken a deflection? Maybe I'm doing him a disservice, but at St James's Park, the fans now sense, if you are a Geordie, there's just a moment here where they could get back into the game. 2-0 down at the break, now 2-1. Rondon with that goal. Everton, since they've had 2, seem to just know that they needed 3. They never got it. Sigurdsson, 66 on the clock. Clips it into the box. Easy header away by Yedlin. Picked up by Gay. Gay square to the left back. Digne faced by Ritchie. Infield finds Richarlison. Richarlison goes for the return ball to Digne. Digne's got it behind Ritchie. Lee Mason doesn't see a foul there. The game has come alive. Clipped forward by the right back Kenny. Calvert-Lewin tied against the touchline on the far side. Decisions seem to be going the way of the home side. Marco Silva in deep thought. Ninth goal of the season for Solomon Rondon. 8th in the Premier League. Long ball forward again. Rondon's in behind Zuma. Back to the edge of his 18-yard box. Uncomfortable header. Hooked away by Kenny. Everton need to try and take the sting out of the fervour inside this cauldron of Geordie love. Screaming at the top of their voices. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with a strong challenge. Lee Mason's going to have to keep a lid on some of this, because every single foul by Everton now is going to be magnified and intensified by the crowd that sit around this arena. Apart from those housed away in the top tier to my left-hand side. Lifted forward towards the Everton penalty area. Gomez heads it away. Newcastle try and build again. Straight ball through the centre. Yedlin's got himself a long way forward here. Stops it before it goes out for a goal kick. Rolls it back to Ritchie. Ritchie now operating down his right-hand side. Reverse ball in. Hayden goes in. Just again gets that corner to Newcastle United. The decibels go up quite a long way further. Keeps Sung Young to deliver. Into the box. Cleared by Luca Digne with the help of Bernard, but only as far as Ritchie. Ritchie, left foot cross back in. Flicked header by Dummett, high over the crossbar. Dummett needed a call. There was 2 behind him that could have taken that header on. He couldn't see the goal. He's running away from the goal. Rondon and Perez just in behind, although I think the flag might have gone up if it had made one of the other 2. Rafa Benitez now having a word in the shell light. Football, don't you just love it? Every fan that's emotionally into this game is now going to be feeling every pass here. Break from Sigurdsson to Calvert-Lewin. Shah's done well. Gets the ball out far side. Throw level with the Newcastle penalty area. Fabian Shah may well get a yellow card for dissent there. Throwing the ball to the floor. Thought it should have been his throw in. Interesting decisions will be made now. So throw on the far side to Everton. very congested. Down the line to Richarlison. Richarlison turns it on. Dummett will hack that ball away. Rondon strike is riposte coming on 65. It was lovely play, in fairness, between him and Perez, who were a little bit closer together. And now we have a game on our hands. Final 20 minutes, 70 on the clock. You're listening to at TalkSport Live's commentary here, Premier League Live. Newcastle versus Everton. Kenny with a cross, cleared by Sharp. Hayden tries to get it away. Good pressing from Everton. Throw level the 18-yard box of Newcastle United now. Around the corner, Dummett tries to get it away. Frugal with the football. Fans up in arms again as the decision goes the way of the blue side. Gay, little layoff to Gomez, midway inside the Newcastle half. Clips it out near side to Bernard. Apex of the Newcastle box. Tries to roll it in. Chance here for Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin. They're both getting each other's way. What a low shot. Flash just wide of Dubravka's left hand post by Calvert-Lewin. Everton almost getting their 2-goal cushion back. Big moment there. Newcastle with their tails up. Everton now starting to wonder why they haven't got that third goal. The answer is they haven't created or taken it. There's going to be a change. Looks like Yerry Mina may well be coming on for Everton. And it looks like Kennedy could well be coming on for Newcastle United. Good feet by Isaac Hayden. Through to the feet of Perez. Perez turns it near side, the right-hand side. Driving towards that goal line, my right. Ritchie overlaps from Yedlin. In it goes. Gay gets back and clears the ball. Digne picks himself up from the turf to knock it up towards the halfway line. Smashed back towards the Everton penalty area. Digne deals with it, but his header a fall for Ritchie. He tries to just roll it inside. Gomez robs it, rolls it back to Bernard. Clipped forward again by Digne isn't good. Header by Keeson Young drops to Gomez's feet. And it's played up to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin into the centre circle. Smart ball. Sigurdsson out to Richarlison. Richarlison into the box. Shows too much of the ball to Dummett. What a superb challenge that was. Had to get it right, but Richarlison, the Brazilian, will rue that first touch. Just too heavy. It was a good move. Everton exposed the left-hand side of the defence of Newcastle United. Richarlison just showed too much of the football. Ritchie off, Kennedy on. And now what will happen? For the change for Everton, we wait to see. They haven't made it. 73 on the clock. Touched by Dummett, this time is loose. Kenny's trying to battle against two Newcastle players. In the end, there's a foul. Sigurdsson looks at the referee's assistant, who says it was the first foul by Kenny, which means the infringement will go the way of Newcastle United. Keane and Rondon battling away. Everton get the ball down. Bernard, centre circle on Newcastle side. Calvert-Lewin loses out. Rondon spreads it near side. Kennedy with his first touch loses out to Digne. Digne up to the halfway line. 10-yard ball forward to Bernard. Bernard now drives towards the 18-yard box of Newcastle. Goal away to my left. Plays it into Digne, whose first touch is too heavy. That'll run away for a goal kick to Newcastle United.
Substitution for Everton coming off, number 13 Richarlison, and replacing him number 13 Yerry Mina.
Richarlison is the man that is going off, and he really doesn't look too happy with that. Marco Silva's man is going off to be replaced by Yerry Mina. It does make me think that Everton are going to try and quell the riposte from the Magpies. I can tell you that those cheers in the background are telling you that Richarlison's taking his time. There's a little bit of paper going down the front of the shorts there of Bernard. He has the tactical master plan from Marco Silva, although I wouldn't want to touch it, seeing it's been down the front of his shorts. Michael Keane dealing with Rondon. Gomez clips it forward some 10 yards to Gay. Gay back to Gomez. Gomez up to the feet of Sigurdsson, who plays it out to the rampaging right back Kenny. Kenny back inside to Sigurdsson, who's 18 yards inside the half of Newcastle. He falls over, no foul given by Mason. Perez, square, just inside the half of Everton to Yedlin. Yedlin now faced by Gay, puts a deep ball into the box. Coming around the back is John Joe Kenny to head the ball away. Newcastle get their fourth corner of the second half, 76th minute. And this time at a goal away to my right, defended by Everton. Jordan Pickford will look out to his right, so the furthest corner away from me, so very much as the cameras are, it's going to be Ki Sung-young to take this on 76. Curls it in, flicked header from Calvert-Lewin right across the face of his own goal. Fabian Schär retrieves the situation, should have let it go for another corner, but elects to keep it in play. The Swiss player tries to go round a 29-year-old Icelandic player, and it's good work by Sigurdsson just to block it. The ball runs away for an Everton goal kick. So we'll wait to see how that affects the lineup now for Everton. Is Mina on as a defensive midfielder? Certainly looks that way at the moment. Need a better angle on Rondon's goal. Whistles go up as Pickford takes an age to take this goal kick, spotted up on the right hand side of his 6-yard box. Headed forward by Hayden. Hayden to Kennedy. Kennedy rolls it back to Schär. Schär sweeps it out to Yedlin. Yedlin on the halfway line, faced by Bernard of Everton, goes back inside to Ki Sung-young. He plays it square out to Florent Lejeune. Lejeune checks 6 yards inside the half, goes from left to right. Header away by the left back for Everton, Digne. Kennedy wins it back from Bernard. Kennedy plays it infield to Fabian Schär. He'll go back to Kennedy. Kennedy's a good 8 yards inside his own half. Then he rolls it back infield into the midway point of his own half to Florent Lejeune for Newcastle. Up to the halfway line, give and go with Hayden. Square again to Fabian Schär. Newcastle taking their time here. Now they're up to the halfway line. They go for a straight ball, headed away by Gomez, straight to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, slipped in behind Schär. Bernard breaking forward. The Swiss centre-half makes his yards up and just stops the tracks of Bernard. Breathing out of just about every orifice, I think, there. Fabian Schär had to get there because Yedlin was not on the scene. Everton into the feet of Gay. Gay back to Digne. Digne to Bernard on this near side. Played nicely into Gomez. Gomez with everything right hand side brings Mina into play. Mina just knocks the ball and gets it back before finding Kenny. Kenny far side, faced by Dummett. Clips it into the corner for Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson under pressure from Lejeune, turns him away from goal. And in the end he tries a reverse ball looking for the runner Kenny, blocked by Florent Lejeune. That's going to be a throw 6 yards away from the corner flag, defended by the left back Paul Dummett. John Joe Shelby is about to come on for Newcastle United. He's going to replace Ki Sung-young. The enigma is John Joe Shelby. Gomez with a loose touch. Does well to hold off the strength there of Isaac Hayden, but in the end forced to put the ball out of play. Throw into Newcastle United. Dummett can only just volley it up towards the halfway line when Mina goes over the top of Rondon. No foul given. Shelby first touch. Squirts the ball down the right hand side. Can Yedlin get there? He can. He hooks it back into the penalty area. No Newcastle men are there, and it's easy for Jordan Pickford to claim. Yerry Mina has slotted in on the right side almost of a back three now. Wing back is now John Joe Kenny. Just puts the ball forward to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson prays it into Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but runs the other way, and Schär comes away with the football. But a loose pass from Schär is giving it straight to Yerry Mina. He finds Gomez 10 yards inside the Everton half. Kurt Zouma, under pressure from John Joe Shelby, manages to knock it long. There's going to be another change for Everton. I think it could be Ademola Lookman that's about to come on. Newcastle force the ball back to Bravka, to Lejeune. Lejeune lifts it forward. Rondon beaten in the air again by Zouma, but the loose ball breaks for Newcastle United. Almiron with a shot, stings the pass, comes out, is this 2-2? It is! Turned in by Perez. 80 minutes on the clock. Almiron thundered a shot goalwards. Pickford parried it straight away from himself into the middle of the penalty area, and the first person to react was Perez, who just put it past Pickford. Good work by Hayden, just stabbed the ball to Almiron, who took no chances, just fired the shot in. Pickford put it low and poured it away, but straight to the feet of Jose Perez, and he just puts it past the England shot stopper. It's 2 apiece, 10 minutes to go, and all of a sudden, is there a winner for the Magpies? Because the Toffees have certainly come unstuck in this second half. Dodgy keeper rings around as Shelby lifts it forward for Rondon. Keane waves to leg it. Rondon on the volley, just wide this time of Pickford's right hand post. It's one-way traffic up here in the northeast. Everton wobbling like a boxer who's been tagged. Marco Silva's men, as I alluded to in the first 45, seem to need that third goal. Seems strange for that. Ademola Lookman is on and Bernard is off. Rafa Benitez has masterminded a change in fortunes. Perez, goal scorer, trying to go past Zouma, blocked by Zouma. Corner to Newcastle United. Every decision, every moment forward being thoroughly enjoyed by the faithful now. Shelby. Pickford looks out of his goal away to his right hand side. Shelby delivers. Dumb it inside the box, fizzes it in. Pickford this time palms it away. He had all of the penalty area to take a touch, measure his shot, and this time Pickford flails away to his right hand side and stops it from going in the top corner. Everton, like Chuck Berry, are rocking and rolling. Corner opposite side. Shelby now curls it in again. Strong header away by Michael Keane. Yedlin tries to play it forward. Hayward puts it up in the air. Comes down. Chance for 3-2. It is 3-2. Perez scores again. Well, it's times to be a Geordie fan. From 2-0 down to 3-2 up, and there's still 7 minutes to go. Perez with his second in the game. Everton didn't deal with the ball into the penalty area. Hayden's ball forward. The corner came from Shelby, headed away by Keane. Yedlin's shot wasn't good. It was just turned forward. There's going to be an offside surely here. In the end, it was brought down as it was hooked forward. Perez was offside, but Rondon got to the loose ball as it was hooked into the penalty area. It came off his thigh and fell to Perez, who buried the ball. And it's Newcastle that lead by 3-2. What a game of football. And Newcastle find themselves in front. Do you go with the momentum there, Rafa Benitez? Or do you try and shut up shop? Marco Silva must wonder what has happened. A second half comeback from Newcastle United. Shelby brings down Kenny. Two John Joes together. Is there more goals in this game? Well, I certainly will tell you I'll be there right till the end of this game, because I won't be leaving my seat early, that's for sure. Free kick, Sigurdsson to deliver. Goal away to my left-hand side. Is there more twists in the saga? Sigurdsson delivers. Strong header away by Yedlin. Kenny stands it up towards the penalty spot. Headed in by Zuma. King tries to bring it down, hits his thigh, hits his hand. Free kick given. Newcastle on the break. Shelvey plays it out far side. Almiron taken on Kenny. Tries to go outside of Kenny. Kenny sticks to his gun. Cross comes in. Shelvey with a chance. Just he turns it goalwards. It's Gay that puts the ball away. Newcastle United rampant. That's not a phrase you've heard in the 2018-2019 season. Well, they are at the moment. And Everton cannot draw breath to try and collect themselves. 2 down at half-time to 3-2 up. Marco Silva shakes his head, and I said at the top of the show, would Marco Silva's reign so far, with the money that's been spent, be looked as entertaining or below par? Kennedy and Shelvey, far side, 87th minute. Shelvey clips it out, finds Yedlin. Yedlin takes a touch, drills a shot in. Ricocheted off the leg of Gomez. Will that go away? Perez turns to run after it, and then when he gets close to the football, it's signalled that he is gone from offside to onside. Theo Walcott is the man that's coming on now for Everton. John Joe Kenny, the right back, is going off. Well, the comeback is so far complete, but there's still a long way to go. Pickford knocks it long. Calvert-Lewin heads it on. Trying to run in behind his Walcott, but it's easier for Dubravka to come out of the goal away to my left-hand side and gather safely. Two goals in 2 minutes by Perez. Let's turn this game on its head. Yedlin, Kennedy tries to take it inside Digne, but it's forced back towards the halfway line. Shelvey outside of the boot, in behind the defence. Perez with a chance to get it back, stops it on the dead ball line. Challenge from Zuma. Corner to Newcastle United. Games like this are the ones that get preview on TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast out every Thursday. Please subscribe, you'll thoroughly enjoy it. Sets the weekend up magnificently for you. Shelvey, corner, 89th minute, short to Hayden. Hayden almost falls on the ball in the corner. Lookman and Walcott try and get there. It's going to be a throw to Everton. And I think that John Joe Shelvey is going to be spoken to by Lee Mason. And he's still arguing the toss. And Shelvey would do very well now just to keep his thoughts to himself. Full frontal dissentation, I would say that was, from Shelvey to Lee Mason. Two of them stand together. It looks very much like right said Fred having an argument. Everton now having to face everybody as a fan picks the ball up and launches it a long way away from Yerry Mina. Kurt Zuma now throws the ball down the line. Headed away by Dummett. Shelvey goes right through. Just a gate. Lee Mason saw it. John Joe Shelvey is really treading a fine line here. Zuma and Shelvey. Chatting with it. Marco Silva's face. A picture of reflection. Everton hung out for Marco Silva to come to the side. But at the moment, the Silva mix isn't really working. Ball knocked forward after a challenge by Rondon and Mina. Still anger. There's going to be 5 additional minutes, a minimum of. How do you sum up a 5-goal thriller so far? A game of 2 halves would be easy and simplistic, but it really has been. Keane to Walcott, first time layoff to Zuma. Zuma level the 18-yard box of Newcastle, looking for Walcott. Can he get there? Doesn't quite get there. Theo Walcott, ball beats him at a play. Well, Everton will wonder how this game has got away from them. But needless to say, your commentator saw it coming. 2 just didn't seem enough, even though Newcastle really only created 1 chance in the first half and spurned a penalty chance. You always fancied that once the fans, who really did act as a 12th man today, got on their feet, it could be a different place for Everton to play their football, and they've somewhat wilted under the passion from the terraces. One ball forward from Dubravka, headed out, throw to Newcastle United. 18 yards inside their own half. Walcott tries to play it through. Shelvey gets it forward. Almiron can't control. Keane squares it to Mina. Mina out to this near side to Digne. Digne, the left back, down the line to Lookman. Lookman back to Digne. Digne will set Lookman on his way again. The £10 million signing from Charlton. Adamola Lookman cuts in from this near touchline. Good work from Kennedy. Shows great strength. Gets it back to Yedlin. Yedlin puts it as far away as possible. Rondon's a willing chaser again. Venezuela and Colombia going shoulder to shoulder, but it's Colombia that rolls it back to England's number 1. It has been an afternoon of high drama here at St James's Park. Keane over the halfway line, slips it down that far touchline to Walcott. Walcott tries to come inside. Shelvey blocks and puts the ball out of play. Throw to Everton, just shy of the 18-yard box of Newcastle United. Zuma. Walcott heads it back to Zuma. Zuma loses out to Perez. Perez takes his time to go forward, being dragged over on the far side by Gay. Gay gets the toe in. He's done well to eat some seconds up there. Perez. Just over the halfway line. Down the Newcastle left-hand side. Dummett will take the throw. Takes a long time to dry the ball off. Into the 4th now with a minimum of 5 to be added on at the end of this first half. Rondon's done really well, but he's stopped by Mina. Gay tries to play it out of Walcott. Dummett reads it well. Drives forward towards the Everton penalty area. Plays it down that far side to Almiron. Almiron tries to be cute, but has lost out. And Zuma, under intense pressure, clips it long towards the halfway line. Goes out for a throw on the far side for Everton. Every second feels like an hour for Rafa Benitez. Good play again by Gay. Fouled this time, going back towards his own goal by Perez. Maybe 4 minutes have elapsed. Zuma being struggling with a flea in his ear with a collision with Solomon Rondon. Pickford comes almost to the halfway line, about 7 yards shy of it. Newcastle hold a line outside their penalty area, some 4 or 5 yards away to my left-hand side. Pickford, high hanging ball. Keane misses it. It bounces inside. Edge of the box. Gomez tries to get on it. Rondon that clears. Kennedy and Lookman go shoulder to shoulder. Throw to Everton. What a game we've had here. It could be now or never for Everton. Digne will launch this into the Newcastle penalty area. Near post header by Mina, headed away by Yedlin, only as far as Gomez. Gomez square now to Zuma. Zuma tries to stand it up for Walcott. Walcott heads it into the box, headed away by Florent Lejeune. 10 seconds of the 5 to be added, still to go. Ball goes away on the far side. Zuma thinks it's an Everton throw, it's not. We're into time added on. At the end of the time added on now, the whistle goes. Well, you don't want to use cliches, but in a game of two halves, it really was a game of two halves. At the break, Newcastle had missed a penalty and conceded 2 goals to Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, and really didn't look as though they could muster a fight, but you always fancied that they needed a third. They never got the third, and in the second half, Newcastle came storming back. First goal was put in by Solomon Rondon after good play with Jose Perez, but then Perez scored 2 in 2 minutes. The second, a fortunate one maybe, but he finished it, and Newcastle finished the game with 3 points. A massive game for Rafa Benitez. For Everton, Marco Silva will be left maybe just wondering what could have been, and so will the chairman of the board. It finished here at St James's Park. Newcastle United 3, Everton 2. Back to John Anderson and Dave Kitson, who are at Southampton versus Spurs.
Also won games, victories for Cardiff and Brighton and Newcastle. This was a massively important win for the Saints.
It's huge. I mean, if any, the sad thing is really for them is that they've had to beat Spurs at home to stand still, given what's happened with Cardiff. But that's how important it is. And Burnley going to Anfield tomorrow, that's a massive, massive game for Burnley, and as it is for Liverpool. But credit to Southampton. They really came out. They could have crumbled after that 1-0 down home to Spurs at half-time, and they went for it. They absolutely went for it. And Hassan, all credit to him, because he made the subs. He realised the importance and the significance of this game, given what was happening elsewhere. He made those subs, and they deserve what they got in the end, I think.
Yeah, they certainly did. So the situation is, forget Fulham and Huddersfield, they're down, they both lost today. Cardiff are 18th with 28 points. Burnley drop into 17th with 30, but they play Liverpool tomorrow. Southampton rise above Burnley into 16th with 30 points from 30 games. Newcastle's last gasp win against Everton brings them up to 15th. They've got 32 points. Brighton earlier beat Crystal Palace to lift themselves up to 14th with 33, level on points with Palace. So effectively from 13th to 18th, you've got 5 points separating 6 teams, of whom probably one will go down. It couldn't be finer, could it? And who would you bet on now?
Well, I'll tell you something else as well. If I was a Brighton player on the coach home from Crystal Palace, I'd be looking at the 3 results that have just come in, thinking, my goodness me, what a result that was against Crystal Palace. I mean, it's an absolute coupon buster what's happened today. Brighton, Newcastle, Southampton and Cardiff all winning.
Yes.
I mean, that's why we love the Premier League, isn't it? But if you're a Spurs fan, you'd have to be thinking, what has just happened there?
It was bizarre. My thanks to Dave Kitson there. Great stuff. Extraordinary comeback, extraordinary result, really. And, it just makes the bottom of the table so interesting now. At the top of the table, Arsenal and Manchester United will be licking their lips ahead of their big game at the Emirates tomorrow. I'll be there with Paul Parker to bring you that one. And Tottenham, well, they're going backwards. 2 points now. 1 point from the last 4 Premier League games. They are beginning to look in real bother. For Southampton, the other advantage they have over the 4 teams below them is goal difference. -16, Burnley -21, Cardiff -30. What a day for the Saints. They go marching on. Tottenham with another setback. I'm John Anderson. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the Premier League weekend. You're listening to Premier League Live. Repeat of some of the games some of the action from this Southampton game. But who would have predicted when Harry Kane scored on 26 minutes his 25th goal of the season and his 200th as a club and international footballer, that Southampton would get themselves back into the game. Great substitutions by Ralph Hasenhüttl at the interval. He brought on Shane Long, he brought on the very impressive 21-year-old Josh Sims, and eventually he brought on Stuart Armstrong. Armstrong provided the cross from which Jan Valeri made it 1-1, and then a stupendous free kick from James Ward-Prowse. That really is it from me. A very good night. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Southampton struggling down the bottom. We're joined by a survivor of their great escape team in 1999, Francis Bernali. Former Bluebirds defender Danny Gabidon joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. 1 chance, 1 goal, number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on talksport.com.
Go to talksport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click talksport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at talksport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions. Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Welcome, you're listening to the Premier League Live. I'm your host, John Anderson. Coming up, we've got full coverage of Manchester City and Watford, the final game of a hugely eventful Saturday in the Premier League. It started with Brighton and Hove Albion beating Crystal Palace. We've had wins for Cardiff at home to West Ham. An amazing comeback. Southampton from a goal down at Tottenham to win against Tottenham to win 2-1. Even more impressively, Newcastle were trailing Everton 2-0 with 25 minutes to go and ended up winning 3-2. The two bottom clubs take a further step towards relegation. Leicester beating Fulham 3-1 and Huddersfield losing 2-0 at home to Bournemouth. But coming up, can Manchester City extend their lead at the top of the table? They're at home to Watford, and our man with the team news is Tom Rennie.
John, thank you. Manchester City aiming for a 6th successive Premier League victory. The visitors Watford looking for a 4th win in 5 top-flight fixtures. The teams somewhat surprising for...
It finished here at St James's Park, Newcastle 3, Everton 2. Sadly, this game of two halves may sound cliché-ridden, but that was exactly what played out. Everton took the lead when Calvert-Lewin's header from a Digne cross put them ahead, before Pickford dropped a cross and Rugby tackled Rondon to give Newcastle a penalty. Pickford saved Richie's spot kick with his legs before Richarlison pounced on a Dubravka parry for 2-0. You always fancied if Newcastle could stir the fans, they could get something. And when Rondon scored after good work from Perez, it was game on. Perez struck twice in the space of 3 minutes and sealed the deal late on. A 5-goal thriller, Newcastle 3, Everton 2.